Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katarina. If you're wondering what I'm doing here and you have not seen my last video but you have seen the video titled My Last YouTube Video, check out this video where I do a Chatty get ready with me and I explain why I did change my mind. I decided to come back, I started missing YouTube, so here I am. And I thought I wanted to film a makeup inventory video. I'm not now exactly sure when I have last filmed a makeup inventory, but I know it has been a long time. It might be years since the last one. And my makeup collection has changed quite a bit. I wanted to share with you what my makeup collection looks like nowadays. And I'm sorry if I'm looking down, I am reading the numbers from my computer, so let's start. And let's start with complexion products. At the moment I do have 3 primers in my collection. 2 of them are the same, so one is obviously a backup, the Catrice Sensational Primer. It's my favorite. It is a glowy primer that is still really smoothing and it fills in pores. I really do enjoy that primer. Then I do have a hydrating primer, the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin one. So yeah, I'm fine with this. My goal would be 2 to 3 primers. Maybe I would like to add a pore filling primer that is more mattifying. 2 or 3, I think either way I'm able to go through the products before they expire. Backups are something that I am okay having for Holy Grail products and for products that I go through regularly. I personally would rather have a backup ready to go than run out completely. Then foundations, I do have at the moment 4. My goal would be to have 2, but I am okay having different shades, and even in here 2 of the foundations are the same foundation, they are just different shades. For a while I think I used 2 light foundations and I would like to use those up. So one of the Essence foundations is too light and the Catrice True Skin foundation is too light. So I am at the moment mixing them with the other Essence foundation. So yeah, I always want to have a really natural, everyday appropriate foundation. For that I love the Essence one, and then I want to have something that is full coverage. So yeah, the Catrice foundations are great for that. 10 concealers, I do have currently 3. My goal would be to have 2. So at the moment I do have 2 concealers and 1 under eye corrector. So I think what I would prefer nowadays is to have an under eye corrector and then just a concealer. I don't anymore enjoy concealers that are really heavy, so the Too Faced concealer from my concealers is way more kind of like heavy and harsh on me. What I prefer, I actually do really like the ABH concealer. I think that's kind of like more natural, even though that has great coverage. But then if I need some extra help with my under eyes, which I oftentimes do, on that case, I would rather use a combination of color corrector and, you know, concealer that is maybe a little bit more natural. But yeah, I'm working on the Too Faced concealer, and after that I think my concealer collection is how I want it to be. But then again, concealer is another one of those things like foundation where I may need a different shade for different time of year, so we'll see if I need to get a darker concealer in the summer. 10 powders, I do have at the moment 4 and I'm okay with this. Maybe I would like to finish some of these powders and replace it with something else. So for example, the Essence Brighten Up Banana powder, I really do enjoy that for brightening my under eye, but I am just done with the packaging. It's so cheap, and I know the products are affordable, so it feels kind of unfair to complain about the packaging, but at least I expect the packaging not to break after using the product for a month or so, because that always happens for me with these Essence powders. So I don't want to buy them anymore. I would rather buy something that is maybe even a little bit more expensive but doesn't break, because it's so annoying to deal with this broken packaging. So yeah, that's something I want to finish and then replace it with something else. Perhaps a loose powder that is brightening. The Laura Mercier powder is like a mattifying setting powder. I really do enjoy that. The Rodial glass powder sounded so amazing. I wanted to try it, and I do think it is a nice powder, but maybe it doesn't give that much of the glass effect that I was hoping for. I mean, I think I was looking for something that gives this really luminous finish to the skin, while I do think this Rodial powder, or I'm sorry, by the way, I don't know how to pronounce this brand, but I think this gives more like a soft matte finish, and I would like to have something that gives clearly more kind of like glossy or luminous finish. So I'm interested in trying the Huda Beauty, the Glowish powder. Emily Noel recently talked about that powder in her Emily Awards, but first I want to finish the Rodial powder. And yeah, then the Balm Sexy Mama powder, that is what I use for touch-ups, and I think that is a great powder for that. It's really beautiful because it doesn't make my face look cakey, but it really just absorbs the oil and gives this matte finish, so I do enjoy that. Okay, then setting sprays I do have two. So I do have from Urban Decay their All Nighter and All Nighter UV Finish setting spray. So I always want to have two. I want to have something that really helps my makeup to stay on. And then I want to have for every day a setting spray that is hydrating, maybe gives a little bit of that glowy finish to the skin or UV finish. Although I do love Urban Decay setting sprays, I have now decided to move away from brands owned by L'Oreal. So after finishing these, I am no longer going to repurchase, but I am going to try some other setting sprays. Let's move on to cheek products. So first, bronzers. I do have one single bronzer, then I do have 3 pans of bronzer later in the face palette category. My goal would be to have 2 bronzers, I think, something matte and then something shimmery. So currently I only have one that is shimmery, but the bronzers that I do have in my face palettes, those are actually matte. Okay, then let's talk about blush. This must be the category that has changed the most within the recent years. I only do have 2 single blushes left in my collection, and even those are the potted, so I do have a couple of the Essence, the blushes. Now, this blush formula is great, but again, I'm done with the Essence face powder packaging that breaks so easily. So I decided to depot all of my Essence the blushes. I had a couple of more, but those unfortunately shattered when I depotted them, and those colors were more like spring colors. So if you don't know, I took the seasonal color analysis and I'm warm autumn, so my color should be like rich and warm and kind of like muted, while spring colors they are also warm, but they are more fresh and vibrant. So those blushes that shattered were more spring colors, so I didn't bother repressing them, and thankfully the colors that are more suitable for me, they are still okay. So yeah, I do have a couple of those depotted. Then I do have 2 blushes later in the face palette category. Back in the days I used to have like 20 blushes, and I think blush is a category where I just would way rather have a really small collection, because I'm really picky with blushes. I just think blush is where if I use a makeup product not in my color palette, so if I use something cool, it's just going to clash. But even if I use something that is more in the spring family, that is just going to be too bright for me. I think 5 is like the absolute maximum what I would like to have when it comes to blush options in my collection, counting both the products in face palettes and also my single blushes. Okay, then let's move on to highlighter. I do have 3 single highlighters, then I do have 5 in face palettes. While I'm okay kind of like with my single highlighters, I just think in general I do have maybe a little bit too much now. So I am on a highlighter no buy. My goal would probably be to have 2 highlighters, so something that is really natural and more on the subtle side, that gives kind of this glow from within type of look. I do really love the Essence highlighter for that. But then I would also like to have a more kind of like glowy Pam to your face type of highlighter. So I did buy last year the Smashbox and Becca C-Pop highlighter. That is basically the champagne pop highlighter. I used to have it back in the days, but then I gave it to my sister. That's like a makeup product that I really missed, and I think it's like the perfect highlighter color for me when it comes to more intense highlight. And then I do have a depotted Mary-Lou Manizer from theBalm. That's what I'm wearing today. I have used up one of those in the past, but I don't think it's necessarily my absolute favorite anymore. When it comes to this really glowy glam highlighter, I don't really think you can defeat Becca. Okay, then face palettes. I do have 3 at the moment, and my goal would be to have 3. So before some of these are out of my collection, I'm not going to purchase anymore. The Benecos product is a duo, so there's a bronzer and then there is a blush. It made most sense for me to put it into the face palette category. Then I do have the Charlotte Tilbury Nude Cotton palette, and a recent addition to my collection is the Huda Beauty Mini Glow Obsessions highlighter palette. Okay, so those are all of my face makeup products. Let's move on to eyes. Brow products, I only do have one. I do have this Essence Thick and Wow Brow Fixing Mascara. I do not know why I bought this, because I do not like brow gels, but I'm trying to use it up. My goal would be currently to have 0 brow products, because I do like to do my brows with eyeshadow. Maybe one day I want to add a brow pencil back to my collection, but at the moment I don't feel it's necessary. Then eyeshadow primers, I do have 3 at the moment. The Balm one is unopened, and I'm almost out of the Wet n Wild one. So my goal would be to have 2, a regular eyeshadow primer and then a glitter primer. So yeah, I'm okay with this. I mean, I do have a backup ready to go, as I said previously. That's totally okay. Okay, then let's talk about eyeshadow singles. I do have 18 at the moment in my collection. I have put here a goal of 20. At the moment I do prefer it so that all of my depotted eyeshadows and eyeshadow singles are in this palette, but also the face products currently take quite a bit of space out of that. So, you know, I do still have the extra large C palette if I, for example, depot an eyeshadow palette and need more space. I also used to have the double-sided C palette, but I sold that because I just didn't feel I need to have that in my collection. 10 eyeshadow palettes, I do have 5 currently. So 2 of these are really old, the Too Faced Chocolate Bar and the Juvia's Place the Nubian 2 palette. The Nubian 2 I almost decluttered, but then I changed my mind. There's maybe a little bit too much of colorful shades going on there, but I do think that for warm autumn this is a great palette because it has a beautiful mix of neutrals and colorful shades that are really warm. And then the other palettes, so 2 of those smaller Huda Beauty palettes and then the ABH Soft Glam, those are newer. Now my goal would be to have 5 eyeshadow palettes maximum. I don't want to have more, so I am on a no-buy what comes to eyeshadows, at least until I'm able to finish panning the Too Faced Chocolate Bar. It is my panted palette. There's no way I'm going to finish the entire palette. I don't even want to try, but there's a few more shades that I want to finish. The next video after this one is going to be my panted palette Pantos eyeshadows update, and I will explain everything in there. But midway through the year I hope I can get rid of the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, so at least until 10, and hopefully a little bit after that I am going to be on an eyeshadow no-buy. If I count all of my eyeshadow pans where there is product in my collection, I do have 76 different eyeshadows. You know, it is quite a bit when you think about how many eyeshadows you use when you create a look, and then I am not somebody who is really creative with eyeshadow. I only do warm neutrals, but then again there are different tones of warm neutrals. But yeah, I still think 76 is quite a bit. But yeah, when I think about the amount of singles I have, I don't think that's too much, and then 5 eyeshadow palettes, I don't think that's too much, so yeah, I guess I'm okay with this. Eyeliners I do have at the moment 3. My goal would be to have 2, so a nude waterline pencil and then a liquid liner. I do have a backup for my liquid liner, so yeah, I am totally okay with this. Now mascaras I do have 3. So again, I do have backup for the Essence Panda Eyes mascara. The Essence Panda Eyes mascara is not actually waterproof, it is sweat proof, so I really do enjoy that. But yeah, the Catrice mascara is for false lashes, the Essence mascara is for only mascara days. Now my goal would be to have 3 mascaras, but I would actually be curious in trying brown mascara. Then false lashes, so I do have here a couple of the lash glues. So one is a backup, one I'm using at the moment, and I do use the one from Catrice. And then I do have a multi-pack of Demi Wispies, I'm just counting that as 1. Then I do have 1 pair of House of Lashes Steady Mini Lashes. To be honest, those look maybe a little bit more dramatic. I ordered them online and I'm not even sure if I want to use these or if I should just give them to someone else. Okay, then let's move on to my favorite category, so lip makeup. I do have at the moment 5 lip liners. My goal would be to have 3. So I would like to have a red lip liner, then 1 kind of like brown nude lip liner, and then 1 more peachy lip liner, but not too bright, more like a peachy nude. One of my red lip liners I'm thinking of decluttering, but I'm going to do that then in the seasonal lip product usage video. And then one of the nude lip liners I am currently working through. So I think soon enough this category will be where I want it to be. Lip glosses I do have currently 6. I think this is too many. I'm not that much of a lip gloss person, I way prefer a lipstick. So my goal would be to have 2 or maybe 1 lip gloss and 1 tinted lip balm. What I would like to have is a shimmery lip gloss that is kind of like sheer, and I absolutely do love the Fenty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fenty Glow. I do have actually 2 of those because I lost mine and later found it in the car and meanwhile repurchased because I really do love that lip gloss. So of course I'm working on the older one first. Then I would also like to have a lip gloss in a color that is not super opaque but has some pigment and color to it and doesn't have any shimmer. So it could be either a lip gloss or it could also be a tinted lip balm. But yeah, this is just way too many lip glosses, and also some of these are quite old, so I need to work through those. Then lipsticks I do have 14 in my collection. One of those is a liquid lipstick, but I just decided to include it here since it's the only one. My goal would be to have 10 lipsticks, and liquid lipsticks I'm no longer interested in trying, they are just so drying, so I do prefer bullet lipsticks. I think 10 is a number that is really manageable. I'm able to go through the lip products before they completely expire, but it still allows me to have variety when it comes to formulations and colors. In total I do have 25 lip products and my goal would be to have 15. So again, 10 bullet lipsticks, 2 lip glosses or 1 lip gloss, 1 tinted lip balm, and then 3 lip liners. That's my goal. So yeah, at the moment I decided I am on a lip product no buy until I get under 20. Maybe after that I'm going to do 1 in, 1 out until I get to 15. Or then I'm just going to continue the no buy. We'll see. And then there's a couple of other categories I still quickly wanted to talk about. So nail polishes I do have 13 at the moment. My goal would be to pan my entire nail polish collection. Maybe I would like to leave 1 that could be used on my toenails, but for my fingernails I want to get acrylics, but I cannot justify that before I have finished my nail polishes. Okay, then the last category I still wanted to talk about is perfumes. I do have currently 4, however one of these is a perfume set. So the Kayali layering set, and there's I think 8 samples in there, so of course that is more perfumes than just one, but since they are minis and it's this one product that I have purchased, I decided to count that as one. I don't really know what my goal is when it comes to perfumes. Maybe 5 is like the total maximum. I do like to have some variety because typically different seasons I do enjoy different type of scents. I do like to have some that are maybe a little bit stronger for a special occasion. Typically something that I do really enjoy is vanilla, but it's not something I always want to use. I do also enjoy some fresh and some floral scents, but I need there to be warmth in the scent. Yeah, I'm really okay with what I have right now, and by the way, one of the perfumes, as you can see, is almost empty. The Goho perfume I have been working on for years and there's not much left. It's going to be like just few uses more. Okay, but that is my current makeup inventory. In general, I feel I am pretty okay with my collection. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, please put thumbs up and see you in my next video. Bye bye.